Everything broke right for the Browns in 2020 as they ended their postseason drought with a win against the arch-rival Steelers. But will Cleveland get the same luck again during their 2021 campaign? That's the question we're going to try to answer next. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Sanctuary, your number one source for all things sports. As you can tell from the title on today's video, we're going to be talking about the Cleveland Browns and 5 bold predictions that I have for the 2021 season. But before we get into all that, if you haven't done so already, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you can get alerted every time I upload content to the channel. And if you have any time, please hit that thumbs up if you have the time, because it really helps the video out. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's topic. It's no secret that Browns fans have every right to feel good about the direction of their franchise under Coach Kevin Stefanski. He successfully piloted Cleveland to a playoff berth in 2020, and the team now has a chance to take another step forward in 2021. Of course, the challenge of going from good to great in the NFL is more difficult than elevating a team from mediocre to good. Having said that, today I want to talk about 5 predictions that Browns fans should keep a close eye on as we get ready to step into the 2021 season later this year. So starting with number 5 of my boldest predictions first, I predict that Myles Garrett will join the 20-sack club. As we all know, Myles Garrett has been one of the NFL's premier pass rushers ever since he entered the league in 2017 as a number 1 pick. But after having his second consecutive season derailed due to unforeseen circumstances, I feel like the time for Myles Garrett to shine is now. With the NFL expanding to 17 games, I don't really think it's insane to imagine that Myles can reach this milestone in 2021, especially since the Browns have added what they believe to be upgrades in the form of Malik Jackson, to Kash Mckinley, who we will discuss later in this list, and Jadeveon Clowney, who should help Myles make a life for opposing quarterbacks very hard. But to be honest, I feel like Myles would already be in the 20-sack club or have been Defensive Player of the Year if he hadn't had the last 2 seasons messed up for him. Of course, the first season he messed up was when he hit Mason Rudolph in the head with his own helmet, and which was classic shit to me as a Browns fan, but it costed him a long suspension that ended his season that year in 2019. And then last year in 2020, Myles caught COVID, which caused him to miss a few games, and it affected his performance for several games afterwards after he came back, which derailed his production. But keep in mind, in 2019, Myles was averaging 1 sack a game before he got suspended. Then in 2020, during his first 8 games, Myles racked up 9 solo sacks and took credit for 4 strip sacks. So to be honest, prior to Garrett's illness, the Defensive Player of the Year award was on pace to be his, but eventually it ended up going to Rams tackle Aaron Donald, and Steelers edge rusher TJ Watt came in second place. But with that being said, only JJ Watt and Packers edge rusher Zadarius Smith were double teamed more than Garrett in 2020, but Garrett won at a higher rate than both of them, according to Pro Football Focus. Not only that, in 2020, Myles' stats for winning against double teams and forcing strip sacks were 2 areas that Garrett improved upon from 2019. So hopefully he continues to improve upon those things in 2021, which I think can help him reach this goal. With the way he defeats double teams at such an impressive clip, if he's able to put together a healthy, distraction-free season with 17 games, I feel like 20+ sacks should be very possible for Myles. And that's why this is my number 5 boldest prediction for the Browns in 2021. Sliding in at number 4 on the list of my Cleveland Brown predictions today, I'm predicting that Nick Chubb will rush for over 1,500 yards and have 20 touchdowns in the 2021 regular season. Like Myles, Chubb had his 2020 season derailed with a knee injury that he suffered in the Dallas Cowboy game, where the Browns steamrolled the Cowboys by running all over them like 66-inch tires at a monster truck rally. An injury that scared us at the time, but it was only an injury that kept Chubb out for about 4 games after taking a bye week. So he was out 5 weeks, missed 4 games, and came back and was right back on track. But even with that being said, even with him only playing 12 regular season games, Chubb rushed for over 1,000 yards and had 12 touchdowns while still playing side by side with Kareem Hunt. So if you go back to 2019, when Chubb played all 16 games, he had 1,494 yards on the season with Kareem Hunt in the lineup again. So I feel like with a 17th game added to the schedule, it doesn't seem out of the question that not only can Chubb clear 1,500 yards easy and probably get closer to 2,000, which would be dope for him since he's one of the players on defense who will be looking for a big contract this year. As long as the offensive line performs at the same way that they did last year or close to the same level they did in 2020, there's no reason to me why Chubb shouldn't be able to rampage his way through defenses and put some of his own franchise records up on the board with Jim Brown and all the other classic, historic Cleveland Brown running backs. So with all that being said, that's why I put Nick Chubb here at number 4 with 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns at number 4 on this bold predictions list. Moving on to number 3, I'm going to slide your boy to Kash Mckinley in here, and my prediction for him is that I think that he's going to end up getting benched. The Kash Mckinley signing was something I was not excited about in any way when it happened, but I accepted it because I trust Andrew Berry, and it was basically a low-risk, high-reward situation at the end of the day. This is mainly because the Browns and Andrew Berry brought McKinley in on a 1-year, $4 million deal, which protects the Browns if the investment turns out to be a bad one, because you only have to pay him $4 million, you have the money, and if you have to let him go, you have to let him go, which I believe it's going to be a bad investment at the end of the day, because all I see at best for Tack is him being a member of the defensive end rotation. But at worst, he'll wash out of the rotation entirely and become a highly paid spectator by the season's end, which is kind of what I expect to happen. Because in reality, let's be honest, the only reason Kash Mckinley received a decent contract in free agency this year is because he still has the shine of being a former first-round pick, and Andrew Berry, for some reason, has been in love with him. He's been trying to get him for a while. And if we're going to keep being completely honest here, there's very little from his play with the Falcons that suggests that Kash is going to come in here and make the deal worthwhile from Cleveland's perspective, even though he did have a decent couple moments of production with the Falcons. If he's still starting for the Browns when they start to make their postseason push at the end of the year, I feel like something has gone wrong and we're probably in a bad place in Cleveland. So I think fans should work on accepting the inevitable outcome that McKinley is going to probably be a bust. And because of that, I put Mr. Tack McKinley here at the number 3 spot of bold predictions for 2021. Moving on to number 2 on this list, I am predicting that John Johnson III, aka JJ3, will finish the season as an all-pro NFL safety for 2021. Anybody who's been paying attention to the Browns' offseason moves this year knows that by now, signing JJ3 was probably the best signing the team has made so far. Not only because his skills on the field are nothing short of exceptional, but also because he's young and has a very promising future ahead of him if he keeps on the pace that he's on. But at this point in his career, the unfortunate reality for JJ3 is that he's never even received a Pro Bowl berth during his career, which to me, after looking over some of his stats, is nothing short of laughable. But that's okay, because this super talented safety that the Browns yanked up at this offseason is going to receive more attention this season after inking his 3-year, $38 million deal with the Browns in free agency. Johnson's arrival, combined with the return of Grant Delpit to full health, should give the Browns a young, quality safety tandem to build on going forward in the future. In fact, if the Browns secondary can stay healthy, I think the improvement of Cleveland's secondary is going to earn Johnson a lot of national publicity. He's going to make a lot of highlight plays for this defense, and I think it will finally earn him the recognition that he deserves when the season is finally complete. That means Johnson won't be forced to settle for just being a Pro Bowler in 2021 if that is the case. I think he's going to be named an All-Pro after showcasing his safety skills for a talented Cleveland defense. And that's why I put him at number 2 on this list of bold predictions for Cleveland in 2021. And coming in last, but not least, at number 1, I'm predicting that Baker Mayfield will throw at least 35 touchdown passes this year with less than 10 interceptions, or around 10 interceptions, 10 or 11, something like that. Mayfield, we all know, took a very meaningful step forward in 2020, especially in the back half of the season. But there's still, in my opinion, plenty of room for him to grow before he becomes an elite quarterback in the NFL. Throwing 26 touchdowns against just 8 interceptions was solid progress for the former number 1 overall pick, but it's definitely not a secret that expectations for Baker Mayfield's play in 2021 will be even higher now, because as of now, he's kind of underperformed up to this point. The Browns front office deserves a ton of credit for finally giving Mayfield the sort of protection that he requires to succeed. Also, the quality of his number 1 offensive line should give Baker even more comfort while waiting for long patterns to develop on routes with the receivers and stuff this year, see things out in front of him. And the end result should be more big passing plays in the offense. Put that together with OBJ coming back, plus the best running back tandem in the NFL with Chubb and Hunt. And I feel like there's no reason why Baker shouldn't be able to meet this goal and even exceed it if the offensive scheme allows him to throughout the year. And if Baker can add this extra dimension to the offense like we expect him to, it's going to cause Mayfield's touchdown total to skyrocket. Look for him to take that total from 26 to 35 and over next year at least. He might throw a few more picks, like I said. That's why I have him around 10 or 11 at the end of the season, because he's going to have to take a lot more chances, and because of those chances, he's going to probably turn the ball over a little bit more. But that's a side effect I feel like the Browns can accept at this point, because we all know Mayfield is probably never going to be an MVP candidate. He's never going to be like a top 5 quarterback, and the Browns are just going to accept that at this point. But he does have the upside to be a top 10 starter long term if he doesn't take any steps back or allow his game to regress. Flirting with 40 touchdown passes this year would help Mayfield cement his status as a top tier starter, in my opinion. And that's why it's my number 1 bold prediction for the Browns in 2021. But what do you guys think? Do you think any of these predictions will come true? If so, which ones? Or do you think I'm just totally crazy? Let me know down in the comment section down below, and let's talk Browns football, baby. If you found any entertainment value in this video, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, and share the video with your friends. Other than that, I want to appreciate you for coming out to spend some time with me on this video today. That's all I got for you today, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Go Browns, baby.